What is spiritual awakening? And what are we awakening from? These are questions that I believe people are asking. And today, I, Beverley-Anne, welcome you to my channel and invite you to leave comments below. So, what is awakening? I believe awakening is waking up to the truth. I believe, according to the ancient texts that have been found, particularly those in Nag Hammadi, Egypt, that were found in 1945. There are other texts, Sumerian texts, there are various different scrolls that have been found, some partly damaged, but there have been quite a number that have been successfully translated at this particular time in 2025, now that we have AI. So although we've had part translations, we haven't had the whole truth. So awakening is waking up to the truth, not what we've been led to believe, not what we've been taught all these years, but the real truth. The truth that Jesus Christ came to earth to reveal to us humans. That was all shut down. What we're reading and learning in church and reading in the Bible is not at all the whole truth that Jesus came. Jesus came to set us free. Free from what, guys? Have you ever thought about it? Free from what? Jesus came to set us free from the bondage we're in. What bondage? I'm glad you asked. So we have been, as human beings, have been trapped in a reincarnation cycle. And as much as we'd like to get out, we haven't been able to successfully get out, except for a few people that have ascended. You can't get out by dying. That doesn't release you. You come right back in a different body. The only way to get out of this trap that we're in, this prison almost, is through ascension. Right, so ascension is when we raise our vibrations on a different vibrational level and we're able to sustain our own energy levels, thereby embodying our divinity, and only then will we be able to ascend. And this all comes from the teachings of Jesus that were found on these scrolls. And it's not just one, but there's a couple of books. They call them the books, but they're obviously scrolls, like the book of the secret teachings of John. Then there's one, the book of Thomas, the book of Mary Magdalene. And then there's also one, I think it's called Secret Teachings of Jesus. There's a number of these scrolls that were hidden for years and years, and they've come to light. And it is mind-blowing. The difference of what is on the scrolls and what we were taught is enormous. There are some little areas where it kind of seems similar, but generally the teachings that we're being taught in the church or in any religion at this point in time does not tie back to the original scrolls. So when I talk about Jesus, I just know Jesus better than any of the other prophets and saints that walked on the earth. And I'm sure if you study Buddha and any of the other prophets, you will find the same story, that what they taught and what they've wanted to impart to humankind has been modified and changed to suit the people who were doing the writing, like history. History is always written from the perception of the people writing the story, isn't it? The people who won the war, for example, will put their perspective, and that will be the history we will hear. But what about from the perspective of the losers? That's a different story, isn't it? So, if we go back to the scrolls and we see what Jesus intended to teach us, and we actually compare with the Bible, because Jesus spoke in parables. And the reason he spoke in parables was because the early church, long before Jesus, they combined with the kings of the days and they wanted to control the masses. They were collecting money, taxes, etc., and controlled the people. And later on, the Romans collaborated with the early church and they created a new religion called Christianity. And the Christianity that practiced today is not at all what Jesus intended. And the reason Jesus spoke in parables was so that the early church, they would have put a stop to that because they didn't want the people to know the truth. And why do you think people were not to know the truth, you ask? Because if people knew that they were all powerful, they wouldn't be able to be controlled. Isn't it so? Jesus spoke in parables as he was afraid that the early church, the Romans, the people in control, would find out the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is that the kingdom of God is within me, within you. The kingdom of God isn't up in heaven somewhere. The kingdom of God is within each one of us. And if the kingdom of God is within us, doesn't that change everything? We don't have to try and do something to attain brownie points so that we can go to heaven. But that's a story for another day. So if the kingdom of God is within us, that means we are on the inside of us, within us, we are far more powerful than we've been led to believe. We've been told that we can't do anything by ourselves. We've been told that we are weak and useless and a little worm, isn't it? But that's not the truth. The truth is that we are far more powerful than we can even imagine. We are powerful because the kingdom of God is within. I want that to really sink in. The kingdom of God, that is what Jesus said. The kingdom of God is within you. That's what he said. Go look it up. So, for me, that changed everything. When I first found out that the kingdom of God is within me and not high up there, out there somewhere, an old man sitting on a big chair with a stick. The kingdom of God is within me. Okay, so the kingdom of God is within you and me. So if the kingdom of God is within us, how do we access that kingdom of God? How do we access God? I'm glad you asked that question. Meditation, stillness. Because meditation helps you to still the thoughts that are running on autopilot in your mind. It's often called the monkey brain. These thoughts are just going random. And I'm sure a lot of you have tried to meditate and you just find these thoughts keep coming and then you've given up. Don't give up, guys. Try again and keep trying. Eventually, I guarantee you those thoughts do slow down and they do get out of the way, even if it's for a second or two. All you need is a few minutes every day. If you can still your mind and still those thoughts for a few minutes every day, you will make a huge change in your life. I can vouch for that from personal experience. I've been meditating for well over 30 years now. And I started off even before that, as a practicing Christian, I started off having what was known as quiet time. We were taught in church that you mustn't have a shopping list and saying, this is what I want, this is what I need. You need to sit down and wait on God and see what God has for you. And there's even scriptures in the Bible that say, be still and know that I am God. So as you draw aside and be quiet and start to meditate, whichever way is easier for you. There are lots of meditation, guided meditations that you can follow. There's lots of ways that you can get into meditation. But if you can just find the time to sit and try and be still, your aim is to eventually have at least, say, 10 minutes where your thoughts are gone. But initially, it's going to take you at least an hour, depending on what you're doing, to get your mind still. We have a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. And the conscious mind is what I'm using right now, consciously talking to you, consciously thinking about what I'm going to say, etc. And the subconscious is the mind that is is below. So it is below your conscious awareness. But if you can get to a place where you can lower your brain waves down to the alpha even would start working, and then later on the theta brainwave state, which is a very slow state, you will be able to access your subconscious mind. There is a security guard, so to speak, at the door between the conscious and the subconscious. The ideal thing is to get that security guard to be bored with what you're doing, and then he'll back off, or she will back off and take a break, and then you have access to your subconscious mind, which is when you're able to slow your thoughts and even stop your thoughts for a period of time. Short period, however, but it's enough. And once you get into that place where you can start slowing your thoughts down and start accessing your subconscious mind and get to that place of stillness, this is where you get infinite intelligence coming through and giving you wisdom, giving you knowledge, giving you guidance. That's why often at night we dream things that are there to actually guide us, to give us a way forward, advice, to tell us things that we might not be seeing. And also, the subconscious mind works in pictures, works in stories and pictures. So it's you have to decipher it, unfortunately. But one thing I can assure you, that every dream you have, and every person or every house or every car or every caravan or whatever you dream of, is in the end is about you. Different symbols that come in, and as you start writing down your dreams, as soon as you wake up, you write down what you remember of your dream instantly, because you're going to forget it in a minute, in a second. And if you write down and keep track of your dreams and you start trying to work out what they mean, eventually you're going to work out the language of your subconscious mind. So getting back to meditation, meditation is where you slow down the thoughts and you have a few minutes where you can just sit and be still. And that is how you access the kingdom of God. And it is your responsibility, nobody else's, your responsibility to find out how to access the kingdom of God. Because of course, if you can access that inner power, oh my word, you can be unstoppable. So thank you, beautiful beings, and I will see you next time. Take care.